Going to. Hey, hey folks, this is Trasknari. I'm recording now the second session recap of the D&D session that I'm a player in. For those of you who don't remember the first recap, the party consists at the moment of Wherefore, the Warforged Bard, who is completely batshit insane. Zeratul, the Genasi Sword Mage, who is completely fucking evil, and Blinks, the Elf Rogue, and Thane, the Half-Elf Ranger, who are both quite silly. We finished sleeping in a pile of huge chunks of gold in order to head back to Winterhaven with the news that there is a spy in the town and that there's a man named Colorel trying to open a portal to the Shadowfell to let in the Demon Lord Orcus. So it's basically not very good. So as the party is heading back down along the road, we see the fifth player, who is a gnome sorcerer named Sumas, battling against some kobolds, and doing quite nicely, I would say. She blasts one of them and attempts to retreat, while the party charges in behind. And good attacks were made all around, but I think the highlight of the fight was the fact that the very first attack made on this character, and this is the player's first time ever playing D&D, is a natural 20 that instantaneously bloodies her, and it was awesome. But a majestic word later, and the party's fine, and she agrees to join up with us. We head back to town, and the party splits up. Some of us are going to go talk to the wizard Valthrin to learn what he has gathered, which is basically what we've learned, that huge place of death happens to be resting on the front porch of Satan, while others go to the bar to try and find out who the spy is. Now, when they go, there's this very shady man standing in the corner of the bar, and they talk to him, and he says he would have information for a price. And they're like, "We're not giving this guy gold." And Blinks attempts to convince him that he is in fact an officer of the law, and fails. And then he says, "We don't have money to give," and fails. He then proceeds to tell him that we have something we can give him, which is the battle axe that we took from Irontooth's corpse, which Zeratul is carrying. We go back and bump into the party being reunited, and Blinks and Thane start arguing with Zeratul to take away his shiny, and he gives it to them with the promise that they will give him something shiny later in return, and he kind of stubbornly crosses his arms in irritation. So they give the strange cloaked man the axe, and he tells them that he thinks that the spy is in this room. And then the party just starts interrogating everybody in the entire room, including the bartender, who mentions that the cloaked man had entered last night with Ninaran, who is the elf hunter, Ninaran herself, and I believe his name is Ilias or something like that, the Old. And this entire time, we notice there's something wrong with the town. All the people are really quiet and furtive, and like they're paranoid, and they don't want they're like depressed and saddened. And everyone just says they just started feeling this way after last night. So the party gets really suspicious, like they start interrogating people. Ninaran lets slip that like we're back from slaying kobolds, and we're like, "Hey, we didn't tell you that." And she says, "Oh, the mayor told everybody." So at this point, around this point, Zeratul, Wherefore, and Zeratul and Wherefore go off to go talk to the mayor. And at this point, the party realizes, well, the party remaining Sumas, Blinks, and Thane, realize that the cloaked man has vanished. And they flip the fuck out, run around trying to go talk to the smithy, find out what they can. And they find out that nobody knows where this guy is now, and he sold the battle axe to the to the smithy. Wherefore and Zeratul get their money from Padraig and tell him what's going on. That there's a spy, that Satan is trying to eat the world, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is bad." So he says he'll get the town guard on it soon. We go back to meet up with the party, find out that they're like, "We think Ninoran's evil," and then I forgot we also asked Padraig if he told anybody about what we were doing, slaying kobolds, and he told the guard, and the guard didn't tell Ninoran. So we go and we're like, "Ninoran, how do you know this shit?" And she's like, "Oh, I have some connections with the guards." And Blinks is just like, "You lie!" And she calls the guards on us for disrupting the peace. And Wherefore gets dragged out of the bar and drops his hat, pulls a strength check to break free of the guards, run back, grab his hat, and then get dragged out again. At this point, Zeratul is contemplating how many exits there are to the bar, so that if he were to set the place on fire, how likely it would be that the people inside can escape. That is one way to get rid of a spy. It is also completely evil. Zeratul's player is standing behind me laughing at the fact that I am mocking the fact that your plan is stupid.
It's awesome.
Okay, and then where like the guards are saying, I know you have complaints right now, but we can't do anything about it. You're breaking the law by bothering her. And Zeratul's like, "Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on the bar." And he keeps trying to jump on top of the roof and fails, and the guards are like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And at this point, everyone is ushered out of the bar, and Wherefore goes back to talk to Padraig and tells him that they have a lead, and says, "1, don't arrest us, and 2, have your guards keep an eye on Ninoran. We think she just may possibly be evil and worshipping the devil." And Padraig's like, "Okay." And we're like, "Awesome, now we go kill things." We set up along the road and reach the keep, which is very decrepit, broken down, and yet we see some signs that there's activity there. Like, there's a bunch of sticks arranged in piles. So we go inside, and as soon as we go down, we see a goblin standing at the other end of a hall, kind of like mocking us. And we're like, "Oh, no, you didn't." And Wherefore and Thane run up and just start shooting ranged attacks at him. And then Blinks just blitzes forward. He's like, "I'm going to backstab this guy." And he runs forward, runs into the middle of the room, realizes that the ground beneath his feet has pretty much broken apart, and he falls into a pit filled with rats. And the rats proceed to kick his ass so hard. Like, he gets bloodied by the rats. Or something close to bloodied, if not bloodied. And then more goblins show up, and Wherefore makes a warpath down one of the things, just kind of making his way down, carving and mocking anything he gets in his path, while Zeratul branches off in one direction, attacking another goblin. At this point, Thane is kind of moving along, trying to use his twin shot to back up both of us, while Sumas is backing up Wherefore with a bunch of range spells, which are ridiculously powerful and can hit from very, very large distance, and Blinks is crawling out of a hole. That being said, most of the time when Wherefore was advancing on this one particular target, he could not hit this guy, but then everyone was shooting range attacks from behind him. So he was doing that thing where he like points a finger at the guy and like pretends to shoot him, and then a rock or an arrow comes flying out of nowhere and hits the guy, and the guy's freaking out. He's like, "What is going on?" And Wherefore is just getting in his face this whole time. He's backing him up against the wall, and he gets killed by the ranged attacks. Zeratul chases the goblin around a corner into a room that's separated by a curtain. And the goblin's in there along with another one, and the one freaks out and attempts to throw his javelin, but strains himself, falls backwards into a pile of boxes, and knocks himself unconscious. I don't know how that worked. But one of the goblins knocked himself out, and the other one bloodies Zeratul, and Zeratul's like, no, and he runs away to come to Wherefore for some healing. So Wherefore heals him and Blinks, and then they both enter into the other door into the room. The first thing they see is that there's an unconscious goblin. Wherefore proceeds to call him a pretty corpse and use vicious mockery to make him explode. Right after, and this happens right after Zeratul attempts to use Force Lightning on it and then misses. The unmoving, unconscious goblin.
You're just jealous that I have lightning and you don't.
I'm not jealous because I can kill people with my words. Who killed the last? The last goblin got up and like ended the encounter by retreating to another part of the dungeon, and then the session ended with us before we even took a short rest. So now stuff's starting to get fast paced. I'm thinking we might end up going from encounter to counter and hitting a few milestones. It's definitely very fast paced now. It's good to actually have a very another hard hitting ranged caster who has probably one of the coolest dailies ever, and you guys will get a load of that later when she ends up dropping it. But thanks for sitting through this. I'll talk to you guys later. This is Trascanari.